Yeah. I just wanna be great. And what's up with the hate? Nigga straight out the gate. And I'm sending the paper planes. Coronau podcast, motivational podcast. We got a special guest today. You know what I mean? The first female MC on the Coronau podcast, man. This is a big deal. You know what I'm saying? We had to look through the cracks and crevices. You know what I'm saying? I told you guys I was going to bring the best MCs up here. I was not playing around, man. So, you know what I'm saying? I had to look for the cracks and crevices for the best female MC in an LA county. And guess what? I found her. Right? Her name is Thug Angel. Boom, 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 boom. What's up, girl?
That's deep. You know, and just the introduction alone, very, I really appreciate that. You know, I really don't highlight myself as the best because I always stay humble. And, you know, there's always something to be learned.
And to be honest, man, when I seen you doing your show and when I seen you go up there, something gravitated me towards you. And the reason I found her out is because I seen her do a live show, right? She didn't have no words in the background. She didn't have none of that. She did a live show. She only had the beat and she fucking rocked that shit out. And it was dope, man. And I was like, as soon as she was done, I was like, I literally ran to her and was like, oh, I need you on my podcast. And she was like, okay, what's up? Yeah. And yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. And I want to touch base on a couple things, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? For the first female MC to be up here, you know what I mean? How did you start? Where did you grow up and what do you represent?
I come from La Puente, straight out the bridge, representing for the San Gabriel Valley, 626. You know, I grew up out there, you know, product of my environment. You know, my pops was institutionalized when he was 8 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what? That was probably one of the hardest things I had to learn as an adult. You know, because as a kid, you grow up with this anger and just not really understanding the full story is ignorance at a young age, you know. But one thing I remembered was my father wrote poetry, so my music and my whole foundation of what I do is based off prison poems.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And as a little girl, I found his poem in my mom's drawer, you know, and I just kind of grew up not knowing who my father was. So
oh wow, okay.
When I really opened it and realized that was who he was, because I asked her, who is this guy? Mm-hmm. You know, and that's when I learned who my father was. And that's what put me more towards music because of him. That's a part of him I carry with me.
Wow, that's incredible. So basically, you know what I'm saying, your dad influenced you at a very young age, not knowing your dad at that point, right? Or you did know your dad?
At a young age, my mother tried to protect me and hide the situation, but you know, you still, as a kid, you still grow up with those questions.
Absolutely.
You know, and it came to me like as a surprise. I was shocked because, you know, during a whole period of my life, I just didn't think I had a father.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was like probably in second grade when I found his poem and I started writing myself.
Wow.
Poetry. Yeah, and then that's how it developed. You know, my poems developed into music over time.
Are you in contact with your dad now?
Yes, after many years of incarceration, practically his whole life, you know, he did finally get released from prison. He's currently in Texas right now with his wife, with his family right now. He has other family in Texas, and you know, that's the best thing for him, because out here, the streets out here, just he'll end back up into the same cycle, and that's just something we don't want.
Absolutely.
Repeat,
Absolutely. You know, and you know what's dope about that, what you just said, you know what I mean, a lot of people grow up without their dad, you know what I'm saying, and this is the importance of a dad in a person's life, you know what I'm saying. It's very important to have your dad in your life, you know what I mean. She obviously didn't have her dad, you know what I mean, in her life because he was incarcerated, but you know what I'm saying, she grew up to be a dope MC, and she used that, you know what I'm saying, to actually, you know what I mean, motivate her to grow and to be a better person. So now, what made you go into music? I know you said your dad, but when you wrote your first song and all that, what influenced you to do all that?
I grew up in the Tupac era.
Okay.
You know, so Tupac, man, he not just music, what a voice of healing. You know,
Yes.
through him, he raised me.
Wow.
You know, and I would just be locked up in my rooms and I'll just be bumping Tupac nonstop, memorizing his flows, his raps, only because I've always felt we shared a lot of the same struggle. And there's not too many artists today that can relate to that. And that's what I feel is a key missing ingredient in the rap industry is they forgot the struggle.
Absolutely.
And they're not creating real music for our people anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where is the knowledge? Where is the education? And everybody's too busy being street
Yes.
and living off of fake imagery
Absolutely.
than doing some real shit out here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're absolutely touching base on a lot of dope shit because a lot of people sometimes talk about stuff that they're not even doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just talk about stuff that they just hear somebody else say, you know what I mean? And it's very important to actually, you know what I mean, when you're rapping and doing your music, to actually, you know what I mean, put your experiences into your music, into what you're doing. So what high school did you go to?
Man. Okay. Story time, no.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
No. As far as high school, you know, I never graduated high school. I probably represent 9 years. I represent 9 years of school.
Okay.
You know, I went to very prestigious schools. You know, my mother invested in my schooling. We're the poorest ones on the block.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's because my mom made her sacrifices to my family to make sure we had great education. So it's like, you know, you fighting this battle between a rich and poor at a very young age. So, you know, I had to be both sides.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had to go and be extra proper and extra everything, and then I had to come back to the hood and be extra hood, and because you know they're gonna fuck with you.
Absolutely.
You know, so
yeah,
you definitely I had to kill that at a young age, and then I learned. So for me to come up in this game, especially the political game, that's another side people never knew was there of me.
Absolutely.
Because you know I just never have given the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I got escorted out of school in the 9th grade, and
wow.
after that my life just went downhill. So you know you reach a point in your life where all of a sudden your struggles make sense.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
It makes sense why what happened to me at such a young of an age, to understand it by experience, to go and see it happen to my son that pushed him into the system, to really come in and correct it. Mm-hmm. And it's just not based off of opinions.
Yes.
You know, it's based off on something solid, you know, so, yeah.
No, you touch base on a lot of dope shit, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Getting into the hip-hop side of you, hip-hop side of the whole interview, you know what actually, when you did your first show, when you did your first stuff, you know what I'm saying, what inspired you? What inspired you to do that? You know what I'm saying, when you did your first show, did you do when you did your...
Hey man, I'm not gonna lie, my first show I sucked.
What made you like, you know what I mean, what made you gravitate towards music in that way, where you just, you know what, I'm not gonna give up, I'm gonna keep going?
Well, no, it's not that. It's about every artist was first an amateur. You know, so you take the time to invest in yourself to perfect your craft. And that's what I did. You know, so I took the time. I was like, okay, I know my areas of weaknesses that I need to now make my areas of strength.
Wow.
So, you know, and then I go and look at who were the great performers, you know, and I go and I pull from what they do, and then I implement it in what I do.
That's so dope, because you actually, you're a student in the game. You're a student of the game.
No, for sure. No, and only by important teachers. You know, I take lessons from those who have something important to teach, because it's our job to pass on knowledge.
Absolutely.
Straight up. So that's what I like to really incorporate. And I'm not going to sit here today and pretend that that's who I always been. Mm-hmm. You know, my life is my message. The beginning is the most important part of my work, because I wasn't always preaching this. You know, my music was very once destructive, you know, and I had to learn to transform my words because of the power of influence, the power of what it takes to be an artist.
Yeah.
Your job is to stand on a platform and influence the world. You're influencing our sons, our daughters.
Yeah.
And to becoming our future. The future of empires are the future of minds. And look where we're pushing into the minds. So,
Absolutely.
You know what? That's why I came to put a real mold of a hip hop female MC should really be.
Absolutely. I feel like for you being a female MC, right? What are the misconceptions about being a female MC like now in this industry, right? Obviously it's a man held industry, but being a female industry, what have you learned and how can you push forward as a female MC?
The thing I learned about being a female in this MC is you better off doing it on your own. Yeah, you're right. It's a male dominant industry, but if you go take the time to learn how the industry is run, don't let the industry run you. You run the industry.
That's a fact.
And I do know in the female rap game, a lot of our females, they get taken for granted. They get, I walked into a deal and they said we're gonna get 80%, you getting 20.
Wow.
Right. And the nerve of some people,
because they thought that you were actually not knowledgeable enough to know the fact that you were getting only 20%, correct?
No, but in all reality, you know what? Some people, and you are true, that is 100% correct, but some girls don't even know their worth and
Absolutely.
what their work is. Some people have the money, but they don't got the talent. So without the talent, their money doesn't mean nothing.
Absolutely.
So take your money that you go to party and invest it in your talent and yourself. Because at the end, you don't need nobody. And that's one thing I learned. I had to build my own doors. What I created, I had to build on my own. And that's because I peeped game.
Yeah.
And I saw how everyone else moved. Be very observant in this game because it's dirty.
Absolutely. The industry is super dirty.
It's very dirty game. And
you know
what? My son, very talented, but he's better than me. And he's only 16 years old. They call him Little Pop. Nice. So now I need to pave and get everything ready for him to come into this dirty game.
Absolutely.
So like, it's just hard. It's hard as a female rapper, but as a woman, because I got love for a lot of female rappers. I mentor a lot of female rappers. I try to push a lot of female rappers onto the platform. Whatever I have, I share my opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't portray myself to be like, I want to be the only one front and center, like a lot of female rappers do. Like, nah. Yeah. I'm doing my thing. You want to roll with me? Roll through, pull up. We in the studio, roll through, pull up. A lot of female rappers today will tell you, I show nothing but love. And a lot of them stand behind me. You know why? Because I stand behind them and we became more powerful together.
Absolutely. And I feel like a lot of female MCs, you know what I'm saying, are being put in this category where you have to fucking twerk and you have to do this and you have to fucking show your, you know what I mean, do this. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean, I feel like a lot of female MCs are super talented like yourself.
That's hard. That's deep. That's deep. And I want to touch this subject because, let your talent speak for itself. With a lot of females who have to twerk, what they don't have is
She didn't come here because she was beautiful. She didn't come here because she's good looking. She came here because she has fucking talent and she's dope as fuck. You know what I mean? And that's what I really want to touch base on. Go ahead.
And I'm here to showcase that you could be a beautiful, talented woman and you don't have to step on the stage and do certain things just so you can get views. I want to bring real rap. I want to bring real hip hop back into the game. I want to bring a real woman back into the game. I want to showcase what our female and our women should be instead of allowing this corrupt, evil industry destroy it.
What gave you the courage to actually come out and tell the truth about how you feel? Just about the industry, just about everything in general, you know what I mean? Everything that's going around. What gave you the courage? Because a lot of people are cowards and not able to talk their truth. What gave you the courage to talk your truth?
It's what's gonna separate the real from the fake. Straight up. It ain't about courage. It's about experience. That's people facts. Who are cowards and don't know what to step up to the plate and say it's because they never been through nothing. They ain't got nothing to say. Try to roll through the hood and have your son shot.
Wow.
Try to go and have cops fly into your house and hold your family at gunpoint. Try to have your civil rights violated. Try to see so many setups. Try going to a lot of funerals. And that's what's going to separate the real from the fake because the real ain't cowards.
Absolutely.
And sit down and talk to people and see how they really are. And you're going to know if the artist matches the person. Because we don't just talk. When we walk, we strut.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now another question for you. You know what I mean? Moving forward throughout your career, right? Because you definitely got a dope career. You know what I mean? When did you start actually taking this rap thing serious? How old were you?
Man, I was probably a baby. I was like maybe 15 years old. You know, I cut records at 15 years old with some people in higher levels, and I'm not really gonna say who. The real ones will know who. At a young age did I cut my first records, but there's a lot of drama and controversy wrapped around it that I'm not willing to discuss about it because it's so deep.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just not because I don't want to talk about. It's just in protection of what I'm trying to protect.
Absolutely.
So for that, I just leave that. And at the young age of 15, I was already out there doing big things.
Doing your rap, you know what I'm saying? Already rapping, doing your thing, writing songs. When did you record your first song? How old were you when you recorded your first song?
When I was 15.
When you were 15. All right, so you did the whole recording, you did the whole thing. Wow.
In the studio, yeah.
Okay. What's the name of your first song, if you don't mind me? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember it, but you know what? Just like I said, just there's a lot of controversy involved in it that I don't want to discuss yet. You know, but
Absolutely.
The real ones, they know what's up. And you know, people who follow me from a very young age to who I am right now and still following me today, shout out, much love. They know what's up.
Can you share any memorable experience or challenges that you face in your career as a rapper?
I face a lot of challenges.
And that's a woman MC, obviously.
Yeah. I face a lot of challenges as far as learning how to do everything myself. You know, there's times I'll go into the studio and I don't care how much some engineers do my music. Sometimes people be haters and some other people sound better than others. And then, you know, I started learning how to engineer myself. I built my own studio. I could wake up every day and record a song if I wanted to.
Wow.
I had to teach myself how to do that because you know what? If you want something done, do it right. You know, and then another struggle is having to be your own manager and manage yourself and putting yourself out in the limelight, promoting yourself so you have more work on top of the work you got to do, on top of your investments you got to do, on top of being a mother and maintaining your household, on top of everything. And then it ain't easy for a woman in this game, but you know what? There's a lot of strong women who came before me that paved the way. Like we
need this right here. We need this.
Female rappers. You know, the real ones. The Queen Latifah. You got Lauryn Hill. You got Storm from the Outlaws. There are so many female rappers that are needed in this game. And now look at what the game became. Look at what hip hop and rap became. It just got all smutted up. And, you know, but it's cool. It's cool because, you know, that's why people like us were put in position. We don't just talk about it. We let our talent display. We be about it and make the change.
Absolutely. Great answer for that question. What do you think your music sets you apart from other rappers? How do you think your music sets you apart from other rappers?
I tell a story in my music.
Wow. Okay.
My music isn't just rap. I'm leaving behind a blueprint.
Just seem like Nipsey Hussle. Because I say that in my music too. That motherfucker left the blueprint.
And I'm leaving a blueprint as well. You know, everybody's life is different. We all have different circumstances. And if anyone were ever to fall in the circumstances I've been in, this is my blueprint for you. You know, because for me as a woman in this game, it doesn't exist. And for all the times I needed it, searching for help, and you know me, I be in books all day, and I just can't find the answers I'm looking for, and I'm just going through many obstacles, just like every man.
Quick question. As far as books, that I know you say you read books, what books do you recommend? Your top 3 books that changed your life or that made you, you know what I mean, grow in a higher perspective or higher your vibration?
That's hard. That's hard to answer. There's too many. Number one, I always got to put God first.
Absolutely.
So we're going to put the Bible up on top.
That's a really good one. I heard the Bible has a lot of good knowledge.
The book of wisdom.
Absolutely.
I was just reading that with my friend the other day. We opened up some pages, and sometimes you need that to heal, and you got to hear God's word. I recommend that a lot, because the gift of infinite intelligence, God will bless you with wisdom. And my second book would be Hard Times Create Strong Men. As a single mother, I was looking for guidance for my son. I was looking for something to help me through, to help him get through. So even though he didn't like to read much, I used to force him and all his friends to sit down for a lesson. I'll read from the book, and they'll tell you.
Wow.
Like,
that's
you guys
dope.
are going to sit here and you're going to hear Hard Times Create Strong Men. It's like a father in the box.
Wow.
And the author, Stephen, man, I need to memorize this.
Yeah.
But you know what? He passed away. And such a powerful book. And I obtained a lot of knowledge. And even in the book, it says, women, you're not allowed to read this.
Wow.
This book is strictly written for men. They call it the man's Bible.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know what? I was like, man, I know women, because I felt bad reading it. I was like, I know women shouldn't read this, but what about a woman trying to raise a man?
Yeah.
So maybe this is the book I need to help my son.
Absolutely.
You feel me? And then, man, it will be the third book. You're going to have me in battle between Marcus Aurelius' Meditations.
Wow.
The Art of War.
The Art of War is a good one.
And The Prince by Machiavelli.
Wow. You know what I mean? Hey, she got that knowledge, man. Don't sleep on her, man. She got that shit. You know what I mean? You talk to her, you're not going to outsmart her. She knows she fucking outsmart you. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? With that said, man, I love all the books you just recommended. You know what I mean? What kind of knowledge did you gain from those books that you can actually carry on in your life and actually share with other people?
It taught me that the greatest thing to do to survive is to adapt to your surroundings. It taught me, to be a perfect warrior, you don't rely on violence. The perfect warrior solves and wins battles without violence.
Wow.
It taught me patience. It taught me harmony. It taught me strategy. It taught me to think like a king. It taught me how to be a queen.
Wow.
And that's what is missing.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to put their phones down. Straight up, because those were sent to destroy us.
Absolutely.
And to reach those type of levels, it's a grace given by God. Nobody could just have it. God bestows it upon you. And how does he bestow the gift of infinite intelligence? Is by prayer, is by fasting, is by living your life the right way and standing up for what's right.
Absolutely. So now by talking all about that, man, I see that you're a very giving person. You know what I mean? Not only do you give yourself, you give the knowledge that you have, but, you know what I'm saying, you give yourself every time you go up there and, you know what I mean, you rap and you do your thing. So when you leave and God forbid something happens, when you leave out of here, what do you want to leave people with? You know what I'm saying? What do you want to give people as, say, for example, your last words, you know what I mean, inspirational words? What would you want to leave people with?
And that's really deep, and it's important, because as a youth, I wanted to look back and see where I came from. I wanted to know who my ancestors was, and I couldn't find no one. It was stolen from me. And that's deep, because in the future, when someone down my history line is going to come want to know where they come from, I want them to find me.
They're going to find you.
And I want them, I don't want no one to tell my story but me. I don't want anybody to change my words. We live in a different time where technology is on top of how it used to be in the past. Back then, you don't have videos of certain things. People could change history quick.
Yeah.
Quick. And I don't want no one to change my history. So you have to hear it from my own words.
Absolutely.
And I want to write my own books. I want to write my own story. And it goes back to what Tupac said. We don't have family heirlooms. We got to rebuild and create our own empires from the ground up again.
Mm-hmm.
And we were already on the top. You heard what they said about Putin, what he said about Jesus. It came out to light that Jesus was black. We all knew he wasn't white, but we were brought up to think this. They came to our land and they pushed their religion on us. It's programmed. They programmed our people.
Absolutely.
And now here we are. And here they divided us. But you know what? We live in an era where we need to learn how to coexist.
Mm-hmm.
And that we can't make it out of this until we learn how to work together.
Absolutely.
But for some reason, they create division and we allow them our pride. You know what? The silver lining is unveiling.
Absolutely.
Everybody is waking up. What did God said? The curse is ended.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, everybody woke up.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
we're seeing it for what it is. We see what the prison system for what it is. We see what the juvenile halls for what it's slavery. And it's profiting. All these corporations are profiting off slavery.
So talking about that, because I know, listen, not only are you a rapper, not only is she a rapper, she's also a political activist, a person that fights for the people, a person that's going out there every day. She was just in a 10-hour, not only fucking 10 hours in a meeting listening to something where, you know, she gets knowledge so she can fight back. You know what I mean? So she can get that shit, she can fight back. So, you know what I mean? Talk a little bit about that, man. What do you stand for and what are you fighting for? Because I see you out there. You know what I mean? It's very important to let people know what you're fighting for.
I fight for my son. You know, my son, due to the corruptions of a system set out to destroy us, my son is sitting innocently in jail for a crime he did not commit. You know, and we had to sit through trial for over a year. You know, and he can't post bail until they get it together.
Wow.
And while he can't post bail, the whole year he's sitting there doesn't even count. So let's just say a kid is innocently sitting in jail and he comes out innocent on trial. Oh, wow. But this is what they're doing to our youth here. And it started with me fighting for my son. And then it led that for me for fighting for other mothers' sons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I learned a lot. You know,
Because you had the knowledge.
I had to go search for the knowledge. I
Absolutely.
just didn't have the knowledge.
Absolutely.
I'm disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a military library. I built libraries for my son that I now donated. I tried to donate it to the juvenile halls. They declined my donation. They didn't want the gift of knowledge to enter their buildings.
Absolutely not.
You know, so I took the donation I had and I gave it to someone else who would really appreciate it. You know, and put use for it. That's regardless. God asked me to build the library. And where I placed the library was his decision. Where I placed it is where he wanted it.
How important is God in your life?
He was the only one there for me. You reach a point in your life where you fall and you have nothing.
That's facts.
But there's a time,
That's
there's a point where it says God has a plan where he hurdles man through many obstacles before offering the privileges of leadership or to render oneself useful. So everybody goes through obstacles. And it's through these obstacles where we prove ourselves to God. Like, yeah, you are worthy enough to hold this position because you defeated this obstacle. So I'm going to bless you. And that's the gift of infinite intelligence. That's why God's gift is so greater, so beautiful. It's priceless. Money is deceitful meat. It has nothing, is nothing comparable to it.
Man, you talked about some deep stuff, man. You're one of a kind. You're very special, very, very super special person. And right now we're going to take it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? We're going to take it to the next level because you're a female MC. We brought you here also, you know what I'm saying, to kill a mic. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, this is brought to you by West Coast Bar Service, Drew Gaddafi Entertainment, Links Entertainment. And right now, girl, you ready?
Let's hit it. Shout out West Coast. What was it? West Coast Bar Service?
Absolutely. West Coast Bar Service. And we gonna kill this shit. Freestyle. You ready, mama?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
I wasn't ready for a lot. Hey, you take the punches and roll with it.
Ain't nothing but against the party.
Blah! West Coast Bar Service.
Hey,
Hey. Go to Now Podcast, motivational podcast with Doug Angel. Up in the fucking building. West Coast representative La Puente. You heard? Huh?
Picture perfect, I paint a perfect picture. I'ma hit you quick to get you. My pocket is getting richer, it's official. I'm a murder, kill the game inferno. Extension is eternal, all the fakes get the burner to the face. I'ma serve you, but I just came to party. Ain't trying to hurt nobody. Hit up the Hungarati, Tyler, pull up with Bacardi, but no Cardi B, I'm sorry. Smoking on that Bob Marley, call it what you wanna call it. I'm the boss, I'm the queen, I'm the hardest. I'm all about them dollars, if it ain't, it makes no sense. Holler pesos, no habla, 100 bills or nada. Talking first class, big stacks, I'm the Donna. On my lap, I've been a hustler. Money double up, work through the dirt. Long as my people prosper, fiends getting served. I'm the first one on the block. What? Flipping the birds, see all my life I've been a hustler. Money double up, work through the dirt. Long as my people prosper, fiends getting served. I'm the first one on the block. What? Flipping the birds. Angel, I rep my section.
You already know what the fuck it is, man. Doug Angel in the building.
shout out Captain
In the
Egan.
building.
Shout out Arian Mosley, all my real ones.
You know what it is, man. You know what it is. Go to Now Podcast, motivational podcast. Doug Angel in the building. Not anybody can come up here, man. You gotta have fucking talent to come up here. You know what I'm saying?
Back talk, a whole lot of bad talk. Hey, make sure you add this one in too. Shout out to Back Talk Entertainment. You already know what we represent. Straight out empire. Whoa, we build empires. Hey, divide your own camp, and each of you rule your own kingdom.
Let's go. The showcase her because she's dope as fuck.
We hit that shit live.
I don't know if you remember that day when you came late, right? You came late, and I don't know if you remember, was when you got up there, I fucking ran to you. I was like, damn. When she was down, I was like, damn, this girl's so dope, man. I need to know who the hell she is. I need to get her in my pocket. And I went up to you. Do you remember?
I was probably drunk.
I don't know if you were drunk or not, but I went up to you. And I got your information. I was like, man, I need to get this girl. She was so dope. And you know what I'm saying? For a female MC, you know what I mean? I give you all the accolades. You're super dope. You know what I mean? And
a lot of people ran up, so you know, like, I don't want people to think like, man, I don't care or anything like that. It's just it's a lot throwing at me at one time, you know.
Absolutely.
But I appreciate it. Like, I appreciate the acknowledgement. I appreciate you remembering me.
Absolutely. But let me ask you this question. How do you balance your personal life with your rap career? How do you balance both?
It's hard. I organize my life the same way I organize everything. You know, I had to keep a agenda. I had to keep a planner to set, because I am a part of a lot of organizations where I defend the youth and their rights, which is my main priority, you know, and music's my priority too. My son's my priority number one. You know, but I love music too, you know, and I had to keep myself on track. So I have to build a schedule, because my shit is just based on the meetings alone, on the political standpoint, is booked.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good because it's where I'm most needed, because nobody is there to be a voice for those who don't have a voice.
Yeah.
You know, it's me, it's You Justice LA. Shout out You Justice LA. Shout out to ARC.
Dope.
It's them too. You know, and aside from Youth LA Rise Up, you know, there's not a lot of community members who are speaking up on something important.
Absolutely.
On something solid, and I try to get communities involved. And then that's where I use my music. So music is still important in that aspect, because it's infinite intelligence. No, it showcases the power of influence. So with all of everything through the meetings I go through, I could influence it to the whole world through my music easy.
Absolutely. So now, you know what I mean, as far as your music, as far as what you do, you know what I mean, going forward, you know what I mean, throughout the years, I know we talked about a little bit about your high school years. We talked about, you know what I'm saying, you growing older, you know what I'm saying, and not having your dad in your life that much, you know what I'm saying, but you having your kids back to the fullest extent of the word, you know what I mean, but going into your career as a rapper, as an MC, You know what I'm saying? How do you feel that you influence other women MC as they looked at you? Do you feel like you influence some women MC around you?
You know what? I don't want to influence no one. You know what?
Yeah.
We should all influence ourselves. I don't want to be responsible for someone else's actions. I drink out my own bottle, straight up.
No, absolutely.
And but you are right.
Because people are gonna look up to you. Women are gonna look up to you.
I know that, but you know it's important for me to set the right image. If I am gonna do me, I'm gonna be the best version of me.
Absolutely.
But you know, I encourage other women to be the best version of yourself. Don't look to me to teach you how to be you. It's something we all brought up with.
Mm-hmm.
It's just basic morals.
What do you think about the music industry now? I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying, the Hispanic rap that's coming up. I mean, the Lefty Gun Plays, you know what I mean, those type of rap and those type of guys. What do you think about that coming up right now? Do you like it, or do you think it could be better, or are you like, nah, they're kind of like fucking up the game as far as like the Hispanic type of rap?
I could never downplay my people.
Absolutely.
In the aspect of like they fucking it up. Lefty Gunplay, you know, he doing his thing out here. You know, I give him his props for that. He stands on something solid too. You know?
And where's he from? He's from out here too.
KHS.
Yeah, he's from out here. He's from La Puente or some shit, nah?
Nah, he from Baldwin Park.
Oh, Baldwin Park. I'm sorry, from Baldwin Park.
Yeah, you know,
he's from out here.
And you know, I ran into him and his brother in the hood a few times. So
Okay.
I know they stand on what the fuck they stand on. You know, and I have nothing bad to say about him. You know,
shout out to Lefty Gunplay and all people over there. I mean, repping that. You know what I'm saying?
The only issue I have that's going on with the Chicano rap game.
There you go.
Is
because that's getting popular now, right?
It is. And you know what? But what's unpopular about it is certain platforms pushing bad agendas out.
I get what you're saying, right? The gangster agenda, the you shoot me, I shoot you agenda, the I'm from this hood, you're from that hood agenda, we can't get along agenda, right? That's what's going on.
That too. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on that needs to clean out house. But one thing I can't stand is the drama that pages try to stir up between other people. Mm-hmm. And you know what? That's the type of shit that gets people killed out on the block.
Absolutely.
And you know what? They have no regard for life just so they could push up and stir the pot to get paid.
How do you handle criticism from fans that you have? How do you handle that?
Unless you at the levels I'm at, then come criticize me. Unless you with the commissioners, unless you at the BSCC meetings, unless you at the oversight committees, unless you made the Chicano archives, unless you doing something positive for our community, then come criticize me. But if you doing nothing except for talking, that just showcase you a hater.
Absolutely.
unless you ain't doing anything better. Like, why else are you there? Because how can you hate on me and what I'm doing? I'm doing something that's been needed to be done from a long time ago.
Absolutely.
But no one's done it. Everyone's like, yeah, we already know the problems, but what have you done about the problems?
She's up there. No, she's out there in the motherfucking council meetings. I see her on Instagram. She's up there. She's very fucking vocal, and she's up there, man.
And that showcases my private school education, where I talked in the beginning of the podcast. I had to learn how to be both so I could easily flip the script because I know both sides. I know them very well. I know how corrupt one side is as opposed to the other side. And it goes back to what Tupac says, when you make it to the top, the real top, you're going to learn the motherfuckers at the top are crooked, more crooked than the streets.
Let me ask you a question, because I want people to be able to follow you and hear your music. Where can people follow you on Instagram and all social media? And where can people hear your music?
On social media, you just follow me on Thug Angel. You know, even Spotify, Apple Music. I had took my music down for a while. You know, my son, he had caught a real case, which pushed me into position I am now, pushed me into a political position where I won elections. I became the president. I became a voice for our kids to sit down and say, hold up, what you're saying is going on is not truthful, and you're lying to a community of people. You can find me in those chapters. You can find me in the Chicano archives. You can find me with shout out to Merrick Morin photography. You can find me in that. You can find me with Richie Valens, La Bamba, Blood In, Blood Out. Those were the chapters we
We earned our way in. You know why? Because we put in work. And putting work is not us going out in the streets and killing each other. Putting in work is us making our culture better.
Community better.
It's us standing up to these tyrants and making the change in systems to break cycles. It's time for everyone to wake up, and I've been woke. But you know what? I've been woke and I've been quiet for a long time. I've been quiet because people will not ever understand. Are they not the levels? They're not enlightened yet.
Absolutely. Can you talk about any philosophical or social justice causes that you're passionate about, and how are you incorporated in them in your music?
Repeat that one more time.
So basically, what you're talking about now, and you know what I mean, you being vocal about everything that you believe in, how do you incorporate that in your music?
Okay, I created a song called Changes, like Tupac.
Wow, I love that. Talk about that song. What inspired you to make that song?
The game's not wait. How did it go? I was just gonna rap it to you because it tells a story, and I'm more than just music. It tells a story about how the it reveals the truth.
Absolutely.
My songs reveal truth. It talks a story about how the politicians came in here and created war on drugs. It talks about how between the 1900s and between 1970, our prison systems were ended. It talks about how when war on drugs were created, all of a sudden we're 700% increased mass incarceration.
Wow.
It talks about how kids are worth 25 grand to be educated, but once they get punished, they're worth $1 million. So it makes sense why they're pushing them into these prison systems. It talks about injustice. It talks about abuse. It talks about unity. It talks about truth. You know, and that's where I learned, okay, I'm a great rapper. No, I'm a dope rapper. You know, I'm not great yet. I will be great.
Absolutely.
Because I'm still growing. If I upset you, don't stress. Never forget that God's not finished with me yet. Straight
Absolutely. You know what I mean? I think you're super dope. You know what I'm saying? And I think that you're definitely going places. You're putting yourself out there. You know what I'm saying? You're showcasing yourself. You're showcasing your talent. You know what I mean? I want to, getting into like almost the end of our podcast, what do you want to leave not only MCs, but the female MC that maybe wants to get inspired by something, that wants to get inspired maybe that, oh shit, maybe I'm a female, I don't want to belong in this industry, but I want you to let people know that females do belong in this industry. Inspire them. I want you to give them some inspirational words.
It would be the same advice I would give to myself if I were to ever approach me in the streets. I would tell her, hey, every artist was first an amateur. You might not be great now, but if you put the time and devotion and you develop your craft, you become great. You earn your respect by what you do. Your words are important.
That's so fucking
rap
true.
Rap what
That's
you mean.
So dope.
Mean what you say. Be passionate about what you do. Wrap your music around a cause that's gonna lift our people instead of being programmed to what they want a female artist to be, what they think she should be. It's okay to be
shake
beautiful.
her ass and all that.
I could shake my ass, but I don't gotta do it. You let your talent showcase for yourself.
Her fucking lyrics talk for her, man. Telling you.
And don't let the game take over you. Don't get too caught up in it. Because not everyone has the same agenda as you. Surround yourself. There's a saying, never contract friendship with someone who's not better than thyself. You know, in life, it's more important to behave like a bridge. Don't judge the person who comes to you. Let him come and pass. You know, and that's what we need to stand by. And you know what? Not only are we influencing the future generations, we're influencing our children. We're influencing everyone's daughters, everyone's future daughters. We're influencing a younger us. If we were to grow up in this generation, and what would we want us to become? And that's where real females are gonna take back this game on some real street shit. And these females in the rap game want to act like and pretend like they street. Real street bitches ain't out there shaking their ass on some stripper shit.
Yeah,
Straight
man.
up. You can't trade in your stripper heels for some street shoes, bitch. Straight up.
Listen, man. This is one thing I'll definitely tell you. Is that this girl has a lot of talent. Not only is she beautiful, but she could really rap, and she really, you know what I mean? Whatever she's telling you guys, she's speaking fucking facts, you know what I mean? And she can speak those facts because she's living that shit, right? She's living every day what the fuck she's talking about, you know what I'm saying? She's putting in that work, you know what I mean? I seen her firsthand, and I fucking respect that shit, you know what I mean?
Shout out to you, Justice Ale. And you know what? And this is also a message to allow those female artists. You don't want to be me. You don't want to portray this image to be something you want, to pretend to be something you want to be. You don't want to be me. You don't want to sit here and give this type of testimony that I could give. Be true to yourself. Be true as an artist because you have a job. Straight up. And I'm going to let you know straight up because a lot of females try to pretend to be me. You don't want to be me. Free youth. Free all our youth.
Coronau podcast, motivational podcast, man. We had the pleasure of talking to the Thug Angel, you know what I'm saying? La Puente representative, you know what I'm saying? Not only La Puente, Cali representative. She's repping all Cali. Not only Cali, she's repping all the women MCs. You know what I'm saying? You know how big that is? You know how fucking deep that is? It's crazy, man. She's representing that, and we're going to showcase her talent. You know what I'm saying? I want to give you an applause, Thug Angel, for doing your thing. I really admire you. I think you're super talented. I really think that you're going to make it places. If your mind is set to make it to the big leagues, you're going to get there. Trust me.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Shout out to my son, Little Pac, holding it down in the compound. You know, charged with a crime he didn't commit. That's why we're trying to fix the system. Shout out to my son, Dre. Today's his birthday.
Hey, happy birthday, Dre.
You know, we're
happy
holding
birthday,
it
bro.
down for you. I'm about to go see him right now. You know, and right now, we in it to correct it. It's deeper than rap.
Absolutely. So now, one thing I will ask you, what is your last words that you want to leave behind? You know what I mean? Like I said, this is documented, and this is going to go out viral. And I want you to, you know what I'm saying, give your last word, because this is an inspirational podcast. I want you to be able to, with your words, inspire the next generation of MCs and rappers that don't believe in themselves. But with your testimony and with your podcast, you know what I'm saying, interview, they're going to look at you and be like, man, maybe I could do it too.
You ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready.
I
want it.
A coward dies 1,000 deaths. A soldier dies but once.
Coronau podcast, motivational podcast. You know what I mean? Hey, we had the first female MC up here. She killed this shit. You know what I mean? I had the pleasure of interviewing Thug Angel. You know what I mean? Hey, Coronau podcast, motivational podcast, West Coast Bar Service, Links Entertainment, Gaddafi Entertainment, baby. Let's go.